Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and we have finally reached the end of this crazy Psycho X story. Before I start, I just want to say I apologize if the quality is not that good. I broke the stand to my ring light, so I ended up having to improvise, but we just gonna do what it do. I got no makeup on today, and let's just get right into this. So like I said at the end of part 2, I got the restraining order for an additional 6 months. Cool. In the course of those 6 months, I get a new boyfriend. When the restraining order expires, my ex starts texting me yet again with text messages that don't make any sense. So I show my new boyfriend this because I don't want him to think that anything's going on. I mean, I wasn't responding to any of the texts, but I still just wanted to show him like, hey, my ex is texting me. Cool. He takes matters into his own hands, texts him off of his phone, and he's like, look, this is Shireen's new boyfriend. She doesn't want you, leave her alone, basically. That doesn't stop him, and he continues to still text me. He never came around, but the texting got to be so much that I just decided to change my number. I know what you guys are probably saying, like, why didn't you just change your number from the beginning? But the thing is, like, when so many people have your number and you just had it for so long, you don't really want to change that number and then have to go through all of your contacts and let everybody know that you got a new number. It's just too much. But I decided, like, hey, I gotta be a grown-up, I gotta be an adult and handle this. So that's what I did. I didn't hear anything from him, of course, because I have a brand new number. But I'm just gonna fast forward to what happened literally a couple of months ago. This year, 2019, I last dated this boy back in 2016, and now it has carried on to 2019. Anyways, so I am at work. Actually, I think I just got off of work, and I'm on my phone, I'm chilling, I'm on Instagram, you know, the usual. Then all of a sudden, like, keep in mind it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Then all of a sudden, my mom calls me, and that kind of freaks me out because I'm like, my mom never calls me this late. There must be something wrong. So I answer the phone, and she explains to me that when my brother had came home that night, he had seen somebody sitting on the porch, and he didn't know who it was, but he just saw somebody sitting on the porch. So when he finally gets a closer look, he realizes that it is Dawn. She tells me that they call the police are on their way, and she'll call me back. So now I'm freaked out. If you watched my previous story time about my coworker, you know that me and my boyfriend work together. So I go inside and I tell him, like, Dawn is back. He's outside of my house on my porch. So when I tell him, my boyfriend goes to our manager and he's like, look, there's an emergency. Can I just leave and come right back? I'll be right back. And my manager is like, okay, cool. If you're gonna come right back, no problem. So we hop in his car, and I literally live 5 minutes down the road from my job. So it's nothing to just get in the car and go down the road. So we go down the road, and we see Dawn crossing the street, going into the neighborhood across from mine. So my boyfriend tells me to lay back my seat, and he starts to follow him into the neighborhood. So my boyfriend starts driving really slow behind him. He turns on his high beams, and he's just driving behind him, cruising behind him. And I think at first my ex was like, okay, maybe it's just a car. They're about to turn into their house somewhere around here. But then he starts to freak out. And when he starts to freak out, he turns in the opposite direction and he starts walking that way. My boyfriend literally starts driving the car backwards like he's a NASCAR driver. When my ex realizes that, he starts to run for his life. And when I say run, I mean like he thought he was about to get shot or something. And it doesn't end there. My boyfriend literally opens the door and he yells to him. He's like,
"Oh, what you running for? What you running for?"
My ex takes off even faster. And to this day, that is still the highlight of my year. I don't know what can top that because I've been really wanting this boy to just get off of my back. Anyways, my boyfriend closes the door and he's like, well, we won't have to worry about him coming back anymore. I love this boy so much for that. And he was right. After that day, I did not get a text, get any social media messages, anything like that from this boy since that day. That next morning, my parents still wanted me to get a restraining order. So I was like, okay, I'll get one, but he's definitely not coming back after that. So I go to the courthouse, I get the restraining order papers and everything. And so far, I've had 2 court dates. Actually, I've had 3 court dates, and he hasn't showed up to any of them. They can't even find him. And I actually have a 4th court date on May 13th, so literally next week, to get a restraining order for this boy. But I honestly don't think he's coming back, so I'm not even going to worry about that. I forgot to mention that when I did go to get the restraining order papers, the lady that was helping me, she mentioned that the night that he was sitting on my porch, he had actually just got out of jail because he got into a physical altercation with his dad. That right there just freaked me out even more because I was like, I don't know what this boy could have done. Like, he was waiting on me to come home. I always play the scenario over in my head. I'm like, what if I would have went home and he would have been there? Anyways, moral of the story is make sure that you know somebody 360 all the way around. If somebody is showing you red flags, don't ignore them. Those are real. Like, don't ignore the red flags. I'm definitely more careful about who I let around me. I'm definitely more careful about who I choose to be my boyfriend. Well, that doesn't matter anymore because we gonna be together forever. That experience has also caused me to develop a lot of anxiety. Sometimes I have my boyfriend follow me home just to make sure I get in the house safely. I look out my peephole during the daytime, and it's just like, it's caused a lot of anxiety for me. I'm super glad that I have somebody like my boyfriend that is willing to follow me home and make sure that I'm safe, and he just loves me so much that he'll do anything for me. Yes. Okay. Well, we finally made it. But that pretty much wraps up the story. If you guys have anything relatable to this, leave down in the comments so that I could read it. Like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.